Hey, Money Magicians. So, quick snippet on the course, on the Money Magic course, which is currently open for registration. Not even going to do my usual long videos because I have a coaching session in like 30 minutes, right? So, I need to start getting ready for that. But I wanted to quickly talk about the Money Magic course and the work, right? So, the Money Magic course is open for registration. If you don't know who I am, my name is Vangile Makwakwa, and I am the host of the Wealthy Money Group, this public group on personal finance and property. I'm also the founder of Wealthy Money, and I help people heal. Well, I help women in particular heal their ancestral money stories and unlock their inner money guru so that they can fall in love with their bank accounts and live their best lives, right? So let's quickly talk about the Money Magic course. It's funny, I usually do videos based on a nudge. The Money Magic students know this, right? So I don't ever have like a content plan. I don't work from any of those things. I'll just be sitting and something will be like, you should do this video. So this is why it's like, I have to be super quick because I've been like, I was just chilling, answering emails, and then the message dropped. And I'm like, oh my God, I've actually never talked about just the course in such a long time. Um, and the thing that made me think of this and why this is so important to do the video was I kept remembering Joy. So you guys know Joy, right? She teaches all about ancestral trauma, and she's a Sangoma slash psychologist. And she also did a testimonial how she was one of my one-on-one clients, right? And so Joy was saying to me that she usually tells people that she did a whole 6 months of coaching around money with me, and she never once sat down budget. So it's different with every client, right? We never once went through your traditional budget this, do this, but she tells everyone that suddenly her finances changed, right? Like she had money, she has money in the bank, income increased a lot, right? And also her savings increased, expenses decreased, all that stuff changed. And what happened? We didn't do the hectic, like, this is the budget, this is what you need to do. We didn't do the practical things, even though I teach those things, right? And I will give them as homework, but they weren't part of our courses. And I do believe those things they weren't part of our one on one coaching, right? And I do believe those things are super important. We've got the resources, etc. But in my one on one coaching, because I feel like if you can use a calculator and you can fill in the worksheets, you can do that on your own, right? What did we do to shift this? A lot of that had to do with doing the inner work, right? Which was not me motivating him. What most people tend to think I do in the course and in my coaching is that I sit you down and I just speak to you and I motivate you. No, sir. Have you ever been to a motivational speaking session, right? You go into a motivational speaking session, you're pumped up for like 3 or 4 hours of your life. You watch these live videos on Facebook, even in this group, you're pumped up. You're like, yeah, I see it. I get it. My life is going to change because I'm going to implement this. And then you implement it for like a day or two, doesn't work, you're still triggered, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Because me speaking to you or talking live to you or giving you light bulbs is at a conscious level. So all these videos are working on your consciousness. They are awakening you at a conscious level. But what we really want to be healing at is at the deepest levels of your psyche, at a deep subconscious level, right? This is why we can go to motivational speaking sessions. And I feel this is not me saying motivational speaking sessions are not important. I really want to say that because a lot of these things are part of awakening us, right? They make us aware that, oh my gosh, we need to change, right? But what I'm talking about is what about changing things that have to do with deep trauma? This is at a very conscious level, right? So I am just speaking and you're connecting, it's resonating and it's making sense. But for things to change, we need to go into the deepest parts of our psyche. So it's not, this is what I mean by the inner work. The inner work is literally you going into your own psyche. I cannot talk that into you, right? I cannot motivate you to do that, if that makes sense. I don't actually know how to explain it. So, with the Money Magic course, what I believe really makes it super special is that we've got these incredible meditations, 45 or more meditations, right? That actually start, that you can go to. And they're not just they're not like 15 minutes or like, they're not short. I'm not going to lie, right? They're going because we're trying to go layer by layer into your psyche. So most of them are like 30 minutes to 45 minutes long. Some are even longer, right? And it's all about going to meet the sub personalities that are you, right? So going to connect with the traumatized versions of yourself, the traumatized versions of your psyche, so that you can start to heal those parts of you, right? And this is so, so important. I don't even know what those traumatized versions of you look like. I mean, I can guess from the language that you're using around money and from your behaviors, which is why I can refer students to certain meditations. But as we go down into the deepest parts of your psyche, you're going to be as shocked as I am, right? I don't have the answers. Your subconscious knows better than anyone else what stories it has created. So this is why I feel like it's not just enough to hear me talk, hear me explain these things, because explaining it is great at a conscious level. I'm always shocked, right? I just shared last week that I myself was shocked that my inner teen believes that she cannot achieve, that it is not safe to achieve more than my mother, right? And working with my inner teen, I could see all the different things that she showed me. And I think one of the key things, and this is so important, is that the Money Magic, oh, sorry, Mangala phone. Sorry, Mangala's phone is ringing. Hold on. Yeah, so you're going into the deepest parts of your psyche, right? And the most important thing, and I think, is that the course is lifetime access. And there's many reasons for that. Most of us actually don't understand that every time we up level, that there's no such thing as, I am now completely 100% okay. I will never ever be triggered. I will never ever experience fear around money again. I will never ever be anxious about money again. I will always be happy about money again. That's nonsense. Honest to goodness, that makes no sense. Part of being human is having all these emotions and constantly being emotional, right? The difference is having the tools, just like long-term meditators have, to be like, oh, okay, I'm panicking. Let's go back to basics. Let me observe my breath. Let me do something. And then, like, having that, I guess, control is not the right word, but more like mastery over our own mind and our own emotional states. And just like it takes years for meditators to build up this muscle, it also takes us years to build up this muscle around money and reacting around money, right? So every up level brings its own new issues, and sometimes not even new issues, the same old issues. Ask any Money Magic student. They think, oh my gosh, I've up leveled to this new income. It's great. I've done this with my business. Then we're like, okay, time to set new money goals. Like, let's take it up a notch. And it's like, but I've worked through this. I've been doing this. It came up last time. I've just done so much work on this. Why? Because there's another layer to this, right? You can go back to the same memories, but your psyche was only working on one part of that memory, and then it was fine. It was able to heal whatever it felt safe to heal. And then every time you up level, there's something else around that memory or that person or whatever that then triggers you and brings up a whole new layer of issues with it, right? So there is this tendency of us wanting to be like, oh, this all these uncomfortable emotions are going to disappear, and they're only uncomfortable because we have not learned how to be okay with all the emotions and be okay within the discomfort, right? So this is the purpose of the course. It's not miraculous, right? Is that you're actually going into the deepest parts of your psyche to understand what is going on there. And like I said, I don't know what's going on. And anyone externally won't know if you yourself don't even know, right? I shared how I work with two coaches, and for the last year, with all my coaches, and with one coach, I've been working with her for 18 months because I absolutely adore her. And we do a lot of work on my mother wound and my childhood trauma. And you would think, why were you doing 18 months worth of coaching on the mother wound? Well, guess what? I've got like a lot of mother wound things, right? And they just keep coming at me from the blue, right? So, and we couldn't figure out, like kept digging, doing the work. And it's like, why are you gifting everything that you earn to your mother? Like, what's going on? My mom is not even asking. My mom literally isn't even interested in taking anything that I earn. Like, she has no desire around it. It's me that would literally be like, here, take it, I force you, and then have nothing left, right? And be like, I gifted everything to my mother. And we couldn't figure it out until now when my inner teen feels safe. So this is also why the course is lifetime access, because it's layer upon layer, right? And you can't rush your inner child, your inner teen, your money shadow, your past life self, whatever, your ancestors, because they also come up in the meditations. You can't rush them to tell you their trauma until they are feeling safe already with you. So this is why the course is lifetime access. It's not just the practical work. The practical work, because even if I set the income goal and and all I did was teach the practical work, which I teach, right? Which is, this is your business model. This is the income stream. How do we maximize income streams? How do we change business models? I teach all that in the course, right? We do that. People grasp it. We've got the practical element, but anyone that has done that will tell you that after just a few weeks of just sitting with everything, you know it, you've got your business model, it's plain, it's clear as day. It's simplified. We've walked through the action steps. We've walked through the strategy. We've walked through your resource planning, because we also do resource planning. How can you utilize your resources to the best of your advantage to be able to grow your income? But at the end of the day, it's the things that we don't know, we don't even know, that are tripping us up, right? And just by healing that, you start to heal, you start to show up differently in business, right? And I feel like I wasn't doing live videos, right, for a few months. And luckily, we set the income goals during December. So it wasn't like mysterious that I'm not doing live videos. Obviously, I'm not. It's during vacation time. But really, a huge part of that wasn't so much the vacation. It's that, like, I set this income goal and it has completely tripped me up. It had floored me, everything. And I have like all the plans, this is the way forward. This is what I got to do. all that. And still, the triggers. And that's literally what happens to most of us, right? We set the goals, we manifest emergencies because there's this part of us that doesn't feel safe. We set the goals, we feel like we can't move forward. Suddenly, you know what you got to do. You know you've got to go out there and market or present something or talk to someone or collaborate with someone, and you can't do it. It's like you're frozen, right? So this is where the inner work comes in. And I mean, like you guys saw, once I started working through my vows of invisibility, gosh, I've done so many live videos like in the last week alone, more than I did in December, right? In like the whole month of December. Why? Because suddenly there is that shift. I'm no longer petrified of being visible. The income goal is feeling less like a death trap, right? It's feeling less unsafe. It's feeling like, oh, okay, maybe this is possible. And the work is still continuous, the inner work. So this is why we have lifetime access, because we are continually growing as humans, and things are going to continue to trigger us. So the purpose of the course is really quite simple. It's around financial freedom. It's about teaching you to increase your income. And we're not looking at increasing income from just the practical points of view. We even talk about marketing, all sorts of things, right? And I bring in experts, etc. But the key thing is helping you also work with the emotional triggers. We do it around spiritual stuff, sitting with your body, starting to understand your your body's own language, right? And one of the things that I teach a lot of private clients, even the Money Magic students, is also starting to understand what your soul is telling you and feeling at peace with a lot of the things. Because most of us are trying to build businesses or build our income stream or build our careers in a way that we have been taught we have to do it, right? If someone had told me that I would do video like years ago when I was in the MBA program where you have the outline for the year, etc. Someone had told me that I'd just like jump on live videos because I have a nudge, or because like a voice is telling me to talk about this, or that I would just write things as just streams of thoughts and then just like post them out via email. And every time I do that, I would get inquiries, I would get a client, I would get something. I would not have believed it, right? That, because it's like, what is that? What kind of ease is that? You mean I just have to really just focus on the inner work, and from that some kind of decluttering happens? And the answer is yes, because your mind will only find the solution that it feels most safe with, that it feels will keep you alive. And if your mind believes that expanding beyond a particular point or having more money in the bank beyond this particular point will actually lead you to some kind of death or crisis. And the mind is really weird, right? Like death, rejection can feel like death, right? Loss of love can feel like death. So to the subconscious, it can be like whatever. And to an inner child, a 6-year-old losing love, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected, you might as well just die at times, right? It feels hectic and it's sad, it's hectic, it's scary. So that part of it makes sense that that part of ourselves would protect us, right? So first things first, you want to start working with that, right? So it's about increasing income. We focus on increasing savings, right? Savings are important so that you can invest, right? Right now, I'm really not so keen on teaching much around investments apart from property, because I'm still obsessed with property and with the property magician's course, right? But but we do have experts who have given so much great investment advice, and it's in the course as well, right? Then we also work on debt and paying off debt. And again, same story applies for all this. It's about healing. So it's really the nature of this course is about healing from the inside out. And as we heal, our finances change. And I wish I could explain how that is actually possible, because I myself don't know. I just know that I just know what I teach and how it works. And I have seen it time and time again, right? So many incredible shifts happen, and people really change their finances in the practical sense. It's not what we've been taught traditionally, doesn't work for all of us. And I'm one of those people, right? Like, I got the degrees, the finance degree, I got the finance honors degree from UCT. I got the MBA from the Simmons School of Management in Boston, and yet still, right? It was just not able to work for me. So, yeah. So, what else is there to say about the course? Oh, okay. Great thing that I love about the course is the Facebook group, right? So it's the secret Facebook group that everybody uses, which is hearing other people's stories will literally aid in healing you, right? So I love the bigger group as well. But what happens in the bigger group is that people tend to be shy here. They don't really go deep. People are not openly posting about the deepest traumas. So what you're getting is just like the most basic advice or whatever people want to share. But for the really deep stuff, myself included, I'm only sharing what feels okay for me to share in public. But first, all my entire debriefing, insights, blah, 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 everything happens in the student group, right? And for most of us, everything happens in the student group. And having that tribe is just so powerful, because I think that most of us are great in holding each other in pain. As Mizo once said in 2018 during the Thailand retreat, that we are great at holding each other in pain, especially as Black women, but we don't have a way, we haven't learned how to hold each other in expansion. This is why when we expand, we can ditch our friends or lose our friends, right? Because our friends also haven't learned how to hold us as we expand, as we go from making just like little bits of money to making way more money in a space of a year. Who holds us then? And sometimes the journey can feel lonely. And for most of us, that can actually be re-triggering, because, oh my God, I'm losing all these people. Then my inner child must be right. I am actually going to end up completely alone if I do expand. And it's not safe to expand. Let me go back to constricting, right? So in that case, having the group and having people that are expanding with you, and actually, I think even beyond expansion for me, I do this purposefully in the group. I don't know if the Money Magic students have figured it out yet, but also posting big income goals, talking about a certain big expense items, so that it becomes part of our norm to know that it's okay to make this much. It's okay to spend this much on our goals and on our dreams. Because often most of us have never heard someone say, I have just spent 100,000 Rand in just one day, right? To pay for a venue or to pay for this business investment to do this. And so we think that, oh my God, that is way too much money. And we're not thinking about, why would someone do that, right? Why is it that I would spend X amount, or why was it that I would spend 100,000 on something, and without just, and even though it freaks me out, why would I do that? Because we're not talking. And I know for myself, growing up was always like, you want to save this little bit, but then we're not thinking about, okay, if I put this much in, can I maybe quadruple it? And will it give me quadruple benefits in the next 6 months, or in the next year, or even in the next 2 years, right? So we start having those kinds of conversations. And the more that we have a tribe that gets us thinking like that, the more it gives us permission to keep expanding. So it's also, this is the importance of a tribe. Most of us want to expand with our friends, and what we actually end up doing is that we end up trying to drag our friends along, and they are not there yet, right? And so we only allow ourselves to expand as much as our friends are expanding, because we're trying to drag them along, or we're trying to drag the next person. And I'm just like, listen, the Money Magic course, the students, they are there. They want to expand. They're ready. You don't have to drag anyone. People are there, right? And this is the beauty and the power of an incredible tribe that is focused on expansion, solely on, not solely, but on healing and expansion, because the course is not even really about the money, right? It's about so much more. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I got to go. I have a coaching session. Have a fantastic day, guys. I will post the link to the Money Magic course shortly. The link is wealthy-money.com/money magic. Again, the link is wealthy-money.com/money magic. Registration closes on February 1st, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 7 p.m. South African time. Yes. So if you're in South Africa, registration closes February 1st, 7 p.m. If you're in the US or abroad, just do the Eastern Standard Time calculation. That is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys in the course. Let me go. Cheers.